Hey there, your Queen Time Machine is still ticking and still asking you just one question. How you spending? 86,400 seconds in another deck of 24 hours, gifted to all of creation from the kingdom time zone, ruled by the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. It is truly God's clock and creation's watch. And I'm so excited to be part of the creation that gets to watch on God's clock using the kingdom's time zone. Because at this particular time, as I am recording this, depending on what your one clock tick may be, where my residence is, we are in a Venn diagram right now to where we are both in the same day, December 11th, 2025. And it was a day ago that I got to celebrate my father's first and second, or second and first, depending upon how you would look at it, date in which he was born. And prior to that, I got to give a shout out to my grandson on both of his days. And today, yesterday and today, been able to give a shout out to a godson who is up in those skies somewhere checking out what's going on while I'm in Sidney, Australia with his mother, the first birthday of his that she has had to celebrate without him, and him without her in this time zone. And with all of that going on, still, we get to choose how to spend. How you spending? I'm here to let you know that if you have not prepared for your miracle moment, it's time to, because you are in your season of seconds. You don't know how many there are. I don't know how many they are, but every time we are given a new deck, what I can tell you, don't let there be one clock tick that you don't make choices by the second to transform your life into the best you that you deserve to be. Now, let me tell you some things that are going on in the news in Sidney, Australia, because I don't have a whole lot of seconds left to share this beautiful view with you. Well, there was a social media shutdown that started yesterday, Sydney time, that put a ban on individuals who are 16 and under on some of the major social media platforms. And the accounts of those who were 16 and younger were shut down. Some of those major ones are YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok. Let me see if I can show you. You can't really see the name, but over this, my right shoulder, which you may be looking to my left, there's a black building and has a little bit, my hand is squeezing right there. You see that little light in between my fingers? That says TikTok, because that's their corporate headquarters. And that was included in the social media ban that went into effect on yesterday. And I got to listen to young people on the news talk about the impact that this has. I got to listen to parents. I got to listen to the prime minister and the governor and the chief minister over this area and this decision, and how they've been working on this for multiple years to get to a place of redirecting the youth because of looking at statistics on the harm the social media platforms are having on this particular age group. And it has just been fascinating to hear the workaround platforms, whether it's Lemonade. I know there are a couple of them. I don't know all of those names, but I do know that the children said, hey, we were born into this age. We were born in the AI age. We were born in the digital age. So removing platforms of social media is just like removing our culture. That was such an interesting perspective versus the perspective of some parents that said it's a good thing. Maybe I'll get to read with my children again. Maybe they'll be present at the table when we have conversations. But parents do have the opportunity to continue to allow their children to function on these platforms through their own parental discretion, but not those children having their own accounts. So it's an amazing thing. In fact, the headlines say all eyes are on Australia to see how this plays out, to see the fiscal impact on those platforms, to see the negotiations that end up occurring, to see how when we swing the pendulum so far into one direction, how do we get it closer to the middle? Well, I'm going to tell you how. The way we do it is it's always just one clock tick away. It's always part of this 86-4 deck of choices that we get to make. And the conversation has to be inclusive versus exclusive. But it is something for the world to watch, because a lot of things have already happened in the first 24 hours. The second thing that happened in the Sidney Australia news today is that December 11th, this Venn diagram space that we're all in together right now, is considered World Breakup Day. More relationships end on December 11th than any other day of the year. Who knew? Maybe you did. Your Queen Time Machine didn't. So I got to listen to all of these reasons that people had decided that relationships they were in, whether they were one clock tick long or whether they were 86,400 years, it seemed to some long. Why end them now? Why end them today? Why end them on a day that seems so close to a major, called here, holiday? But this is considered December 11th, Worldwide Breakup Day. And there were so many interesting reasons. One person broke up with someone because they got a personalized license plate and they didn't want to be with someone with a personalized license plate. Somebody else broke up with someone because their partner wouldn't take them to see a mother who was sick in a hospital, even though they lived right close by it. Someone else, the breakup was because they found out that someone wanted somebody else and was with somebody else the whole time they were with them. So there are all these reasons that people are breaking up on December 11th. And some people said simply because they know it's World Breakup Day, that they decided, well, that must mean I need to break up. And so they did. I want to encourage you not to break up with yourself. And don't break up with the creator of the kingdom time zone. In fact, strengthen your relationship with the creator and with yourself on a day that's decreed Worldwide Breakup Day. The other two things that were in the news today that I felt noteworthy was the amount of spending that the governor and the prime minister are doing for their personal travel and things that they have to do because they have families like everyone else. And even when they're doing that within the rules of their office, the scrutiny that comes with it. And it has just been fascinating. And there's so many amazing women leaders. So it's just great to hear the perspective of women coloring inside of the box of a governance in order to spend time with their family. And then the last piece of news today in Sydney, Australia, is how America is going to be putting a ban on individuals being able to get into America from other countries. And Australia highlighted this U.S. effort, which is calling for visas to only travel visas, vacation visas, the same way that I'm here in this country. Coming into our country, those visas now requiring individuals to provide 5 years of their social media history and 10 years of email history of themselves, their parents, their children, and all of their siblings. That is such a hot topic today on the Sidney Australia news. So on this down under front, where it has been great to be up and over, just to do a pass through, as it relates to a worldview, clock tick to clock tick to clock tick, let me tell you something. We are going to need to band together so that we just become better stewards of managing these seconds. And I believe that I'm here to help you do that. So continue to follow me, continue to stay tuned. I'm going to let you know when I'm going to have to be incapacitated because of the airways that I must travel through. Have to cross that time barrier and get back to spending one day without being able to have every day lived twice. I've been really loving this 2-day thing, but not as much as I've been loving sharing it with you. So thank you for being with me an entire week where I've been able to celebrate not only my birthday, not only my grandson's birthday, not only my father's birthday, not only a godson's birthday, even a great-granddaughter's birthday. But most importantly, I've been able to celebrate the opportunity to use every tick-tock around the clock, not the social media platform, but rather the actual time zone. The only thing that we have in common with all of creation. This thing called time. All of our devices can tell us what time it is. None of them can tell us what time is. As I continue to study it, I hope that you will want to become a student and allow me to be a teacher, because it is then that I will be given the opportunity to be the student while you're the teacher, so we can all be the best that we can be. Yep, took a little bit longer today, but I want to let you know what's happening globally, the things we're not thinking about that are changing the face of the planet. 86-4. That's how we're going to keep score. And that's how we're going to unite, and that's how we're going to fight. That's how we're going to collaborate. That's how we're going to celebrate. And even when we have to lamentate, we are going to grow, because our ground is going to get gooder and gooder and better. Regardless of the tides that flow, there are ties that bind. So, every 5 minutes is 300 seconds, which means that 15 are 900 seconds, and I'm right at 15 minutes and 30 seconds. 930 seconds, getting ready to be 960 seconds that I get to say thank you from my heart to yours. I'm just your Queen Time Machine out here in these streets right now, Sidney, Australia. Who knows where next? I just hope that you'll join me wherever next is. It's always only until soon. And it is also always Agape and Shalom. And that's love and peace in every language. Until soon.